paid Trey less money and a couple other guys, and yeah, it worked out great. And that's kind of what I'm talking about too, as far as I call me crazy. I believe the Bengals can fix this, and I believe the best chance to do it is with Duke Tobin and Zach Taylor, because there's only certain parameters that they have to work it within with the Bengals. The Bengals are the only team that's like this. They don't have enough scouts. The coaches got to scout. The scouts got to help with the game plan. They got 3 GM or 4 assistant GMs. We don't have, you know all that stuff.
Yeah.
To me, they're not bringing in, like, just say a John Harbaugh. They're not bringing that guy in there. I wouldn't mind that at all. But they're not going to bring him in there because he's not going to want to work under these parameters. You got to have a guy, 2 guys who can work together and work under these parameters. We've seen them do this. Now, my question is, like last year, because Duke said, I'm not going to pay for the same team I paid for last year. Well, he didn't. He paid for a worse team. They did nothing in free agency. And I can't sit there and say that Zach Taylor and Duke Tobin are like, oh, give us TJ Slayton and Oren Burks and free agency, and we're good. We're going to be fine. Logically, that doesn't make sense to me. That's where I'm like, this year, they got to get back to focusing in on getting their targets, who they want in free agency. And to me, that's why I go back to, if you sign the guys you want, if you're not going to sign Joseph Ossai, fine. Then take that money. I'm like, all right, we're going to sign this guy. But if you get that part done, which I don't think they're going to re-sign Trey. Like last year, the offseason was all, first beginning part, it was all, T and Jamar. And I think that took a lot of their time up because they don't have enough people. Or they don't trust enough people,
Yeah.
So they don't have to worry about that this year. That's why get the guys that are in your room now, get them signed. And then, like you say, if you're not going to sign Joseph Ossai, which I think is going to be hard because of his agent, then all right, we're going to go get this guy. We're going to get this guy, And they all talk before free agency starts. I mean, fuck, we get, people signed at midnight, 12:01 or whatever. So that, I agree. It's kind of what you're saying there.
Yeah, I mean, there's the tampering period. I can't remember what the free agency class looked like last year. If that maybe dictated some of it too. And that's the thing, like, fans come in, and I like to see them take swings, right? Like, even if you have to play, because the guy that I have circled that I would like, and I would let Ossai walk, is Odafe Owe from the Chargers. So since they traded him over from Baltimore to the Chargers, he's increased his production. He's had a couple, games with some sacks. I think his pass rush win rate's better. I love his get off. He's like really fast. He actually reminds me of Myles Murphy a little bit. So you could team them up. I would actually take him over Ossai. Now the problem is I don't know what the Chargers cap situation is, because they're seeing the same thing that we probably do, right? Like,
right.
Productive. They might want to retain him, but I just don't know with these caps, what he's going to demand. Like, he could be a guy that you have to overpay for. And that's how free agency works.
They might have to. I mean, the Bengals have done that when they signed DJ Reader. They overpaid to get him.
Yeah. So,
and I know they've done it before.
Yeah, and I can't forget it. I can't name the guy that Chicago signed on their defensive line. They paid a lot of money for him, and maybe a couple guys, and they just haven't produced. Yeah.
They traded for him from Washington, and then they re-signed him, I think.
Yeah, and he just hasn't produced. So
no, which is surprising. I thought that was a great trade when they got. I was mad because I wanted to get him, and well, it hasn't worked out so great for the Bears.
Yeah. So I mean, and we have not been that successful in free agency the last couple of years. No. I think actually what they try to do. So they, and a lot of people are applauding the Bengals at the time, the way that they were able to identify players that were ascending.
Yeah,
I think
they did a great job of it.
They try to duplicate that with like Nick Scott, because there was a lot of people like, oh, during the Rams playoff run, he had like made impactful plays. They're like, oh, this is an up and coming guy, which I saw him making tackles for the Panthers this past weekend.
He finally figured out how to do it. Yeah, that was one. Yeah, that was one where they, to me, I say they pulled the oh shit handle, and we lost Von Bell, so they went and signed it. But I was with you. I'm like, all right, I'll try to talk myself into it. I was like, all right, they've done this before. Okay, he's a young up and coming guy, and that didn't work at all. I mean, and that's what they did. They hit on a lot of those guys. I know one of the biggest ones, Trey Henderson. We're not going to get another Trey Henderson. The chances of you being able to get a guy like that at the cost we got him and be as productive as he was is once in it was like hitting the lottery, with him. I don't expect that, but I would like to get another. If you let Joshua Osai go, at least get somebody else in there so you have a rotation with Miles Murphy, the guy you signed, and Shamar Stewart. At least you got 3 guys, and Cedric Johnson. I don't forget about him too. Those guys. At least that can get you a pass rush on the outside. The one that I'm more concerned about, and I've been saying this last couple years, is the 3 tech, the interior. We don't have an interior defensive pass rush. Now this brings me to the draft. And this is where I would love Caleb Downs. And people are mocking Caleb Downs to 10th to the Bengals. But Peter Woods, man, and he's basically him and maybe one other guy are the interior guys to go get. If he's there, I'd be so torn. If Caleb Woods and him are there, I don't know. I probably would go Caleb Woods because I think Caleb Woods can be Ed Reed. I really do. I think he can be that, and Peter Wood is. I've said this a million times on here. I want production over ceiling. And I think Woods has a high ceiling, but production wasn't totally there. In college, it was good, but not great. Caleb Downs we've seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and that's like part of the conversation. Like, do you look at the draft and you say, "Oh, I can grab Peter Woods, get that 3 tech that we just haven't had." I know we're moving Stewart down there quite a bit, and I really like that. I actually thought he was like roughing up. God, what's the Browns left guard? Benito. He was like, he was just bull rushing him.
Do you think he's big enough to do it? Like they're never going to move him down here all the time. He's not big enough to do it every time, but big enough to do it consistently enough for us next year.
Yeah, because I would hate for them to ask him to add weight.
I don't. I think that take away from his speed, his quickness.
Now, I do think like he could play like a 50-50 split. Now getting in there, on your base downs. And the other part of this too, the NFL is definitely running more 12 personnel. I think ESPN actually had posted something where this is the highest percentage of 12 personnel in the last 10 to 15 years. So I think the evolution of the offenses, they're getting back to going heavy sets. Like even the Bengals, how many times did we bring in Lucas Patrick like in some of these heavy sets over the last couple of games? So I think even the Bengals are tinkering with that a little bit. But with that being said, like you look at the draft and you look at the depth that has to go into your like.
Well, that's the thing too. Is the safety room is big in the draft. I talked to Dale about this on Friday's show. He said he and I take a lot of my draft stuff from Dale. He would go right now. You go Peter Woods and then go get another. He named a safety in the second round that we probably could get. If you do that and you get 2 impact players right away, that could be really good for us too. So that's where I go back like, well, if you could get a starting safety in the second round and you get your starting 3 tech, that's where it's we got months to go till this. But right now, kind of like I don't know which way I would go.
Yeah, it's tough. And it kind of like obviously like, is there a chance that like, hey, somebody, I don't know if anybody is going to want to move up to our spot, because the problem with the draft too, once you get out of like the top 8 or 9, I think what was last year where like a lot of the scouts and the boards only had true first round grades on like 15 players.
Yeah.
I think it might be even worse this year. I don't know. I could be misspoke on that, but it's like how many teams are going to really want to trade up? And I don't know if there's going to be a lot or not, because
we need more quarterbacks to come out.
Yeah. That's why Simpson declared, but I don't know. Like he just didn't put a great tape together the last half of the season.
We need Trinidad they have a great game with a couple games here with Ole Miss and then come out.
He applied for the additional year.
Yeah.
Diago Pavia got.
Yeah, so. And he'll probably get it because Pavia got it because his was JUCO too.
Yeah.
But back to free agency, there are some free agents. There are some free agent safeties and linebackers. I think, and I got to bring a sport track here. I know. What is the safety from Kansas City, and he was a Bearcat.
Cook.
Yes, Brian Cook. I would like to get him. To me, like I want to get two spots. I really want to get is linebacker and safety, and I want 2 guys that could start. But if we draft guys that are better than fine, but we at least have a good veteran in that room.
Yeah, because you can always double down. Like you can go get a Cook, or if you wanted to get a safety that is like a true veteran, maybe you go, I don't know, like Kyle Duggar. I
Yeah,
mean, he
Kyle
is
Duggar.
like a player of that ilk. Like, you
Mhm.
don't have
Yeah.
to like break the bank. Maybe you just have a solid player that's going to be in the right position and can make the tackles. And then you go into the draft and you go after a Ramsey, the USC safety in the second round, or you go after the guy I like is the Oregon safety, Adam Thieneman.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Like my comp for him is Jesse Bates. Like he wears the same number, he moves like him. He likes to get up and get dirty in the box. Like, no pun there, but
What's your thoughts on Reed Blankenship, safety out of Philly?
Yeah, he hasn't had the best year this year. Like he's kind of like his PFFs have dropped. I'm not. He's on such a good defense. I just kind of
Mhm.
feel like he'd be a player just like a Geno Stone that would come over here and kind of get exposed. I'm not like I think he's a solid player, but there's other places I'd like to go.
Yeah, they got Brian Cook is. I'm looking at it now. They got Nick Scott out there too. I'm not signing him.
Yeah,
Devin Bush is another one. He's another.
yeah, he's a lion. Like we could
He's
look
he's
at,
32.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like
And Brian Cook's
a lot of these
26.
free agents,
So.
it's not surprising. A lot of your free agents are at this point in like their second or third contract. They're like 28, 29 years old. I think you're probably going to hit it with like some veterans. I would like for them to make one splash. Like somebody had mentioned Jalen Phillips in the chat. I like Adolfo. I'd be fine with either one of those.
Mhm.
Like get another edge, let Osai go, and then, focus on getting some veterans at linebacker and safety.
What's your thoughts on Matt Milano, the linebacker from Buffalo?
I like him a lot. I like him a lot.
He's right at 30. That's why I don't know if the Bengals would do it or not.
Yeah, and I think the Bills will probably try to get younger on
Mhm.
defense because their last draft, they tried to draft a lot of young guys, and their defense, they've gotten a little bit better in the run game, but I do think that's a guy that could end up like not coming back to the Bills. Now he's been banged up quite a bit, but
Yeah.
when he's on the field, man, he's like a ball. Like he's all over the ball. He's all over the place. So
Yeah, another one is Quincy Williams from the Jets. He's 29. He'll be probably 30 next year. That's another name I hear a lot of. But and you got Devin Bush. That
yeah,
from that one. He's 27. Those are kind of like my three right there that I've kind of a quick glance at Sports Tracker. Those are kind of the three that I would. Well, you got Jack. Forget that Jack from the Chiefs. Conray, if I say his name.
oh yeah.
He's
God dang,
26.
yeah,
Cochrane. I don't know. I'm messing his name up. He's only
yeah. I
26.
he he's made some plays against the Bengals.
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
yeah, he's a
Exactly.
ferocious player. Like I don't know, like a part of this thing too is like what are the other teams thinking, or what are they going to do? What is their cap situations like? I
Right.
guess the good thing is these players are coming from teams that probably have the large quarterback contracts.
Yeah.
Um, like I think I saw a stat like the Browns are 12% over the cap for next year. Uh,
Really?
yeah, or something like that. So
How?
I don't.
Oh, the Deshaun Watson
John
contract. That's
Watson,
how.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, the cap health is like more teams are getting better at their cap health these days.
Oh,
Um,
our cap health is fine.
yeah, yeah,
We're always good at it.
yeah. We're that's one thing that
Yeah.
for better or for worse, we're always
We
like
got
turning
that.
money over. Yeah,
KP from Casey, the safety from Arizona is Jalen Thompson. I think that's who you're talking about. He's 27 years old. I don't know
yeah.
a whole lot about him, to be
I
honest.
don't. I haven't like. And actually, how dumb am I? Arizona was like going to be. I picked them as my sneaky team for like 2 years in a row, and they've sucked both years. Like, they're
Not
going
worked
to
at all.
they come out of nowhere. Uh, yeah, I'll have to look at him a little bit more, but I like the idea where KP is like 27. Obviously, he has some experience. He's probably like ascending still. So it just some of these guys that you're getting like in their like early like 30s, you just never know, man. They're just
Yeah.
like, yeah, if you want to plug a veteran in, but for the
Well,
longevity of the season, it's
right.
like
That's
tough.
what I'm saying. I like both those positions, safety and linebacker. I want to draft one, and I want a veteran in there. A veteran, like I said, they signed Oren Burke. I want a veteran who could start. Oren
Mhm.
Burke he was always going to be your third linebacker. He was never going to be a starter there. Let's see the crypt keeper here. He said, I just don't see the old man putting in any more first round draft capital on the defense line, I see safety in the first round. I don't know because they don't draft safeties in the first round. I mean, when was the last time the Bengals drafted a safety in the first round? Darren Williams, or I think that was his name.
Yeah,
I think AC told me that Friday. I mean, that was the last one. I mean, like I said, Caleb Downs is a game changer, and they need, like I said, they need pass rush. They need a corner. I wouldn't put past a corner of them drafting him or signing a corner, safety, linebacker, and another one for the offense will be a slot receiver. I wouldn't mind that either. So I mean, there's and you could, I haven't even looked up wide receivers. There could be somebody that they could sign there. I don't know, but I mean, there's things to do. But to me, is if let's go back to the old saying, get all your ducks in a row. Get the guys in your room and your team that you want to keep moving forward. Get them signed now, and then you can just concentrate on this, because it seems like when they don't have a whole bunch of other distractions with their contracts from their own players, they tend to do better.
Yeah.
Or like they don't like I said, Von Bell. I think they thought they were going to keep Von Bell, which would have been smart to sign Von Bell before he went to free agency. Just saying, get it done before then, so you don't have oh crap, we lost him. Okay, so you don't get anybody else to offer him more money. Just get the contract done.
Get him done.
Get
him done out of the way. I think back to the Downs conversation, like you're talking about the Bengals drafting the safety. The NFL generally doesn't draft safeties in the top 10. The last safety that was drafted in the top 10 was Jamal Adams with the 6th pick in 2017. So even safeties like Mika Fitzpatrick, Derwin James, Kyle Hamilton, who's a freaking stud, who got $100 million, they all fell outside of the top 10. So it's
that's one thing I just thought this. Let's just put this out there, because the Bengals don't draft up. Well, let's just say Caleb Downs, they think they could get Caleb Downs at pick 12, and they could, trade back and get another second round pick. I could totally see them doing that. I don't know but Caleb Downs to me is different. I don't know if I think he might get drafted in the top 10. That's where he's slotted at right now. And we're in just January, 7th. We got a ways to go.
You know who'd want to move up with us? This sounds crazy because we want to make the trade. The Ravens need pass ruch.
Yeah.
So they would love to come up to get Bailey or Bain or whoever.
Yeah, I don't know if we do that. Let's say though, if Bain is, that's the other thing. If Bain is there, which I don't think he'll be there, because all these guys are right there. Bain, Downs, Woods, they're all three of those guys are right around where we're picking. They could be there, they could not be there. If Bain is there, I might take him over all of them.
He's a good player. Him and Bailey, man, they're almost like cut out of the same cloth, like their build and stuff. Like I don't know what Bailey's arm length is. I mean, that's gonna be a thing that we got to hear of with Bailey, with like the 30-inch arms or whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, there's so many players that, like, that's the thing. I'm even conflicted. Like I think if you took a poll, probably a majority of Bengals fans would probably say Caleb Downs. I
think it's a majority of people are saying right now.
Yeah. But
now, I did a thing about Peter Wood, just because we don't have that. and there's not very many of these guys in this draft. There's not very many guys in free agency for it. That's where I'm like, need. And I've said this, I don't want to draft out of need. But this guy could be so good, it would be hard for me to pass him up. Because we haven't had that. And pass rush, if you can get a consistent pass rush, it helps your secondary out. So it helps everything out. So that's where that's gonna be a tough one for me right now.
Yeah, and I like that's that. Maybe the hope is too is like Spencer Fano falls and there's not a lot of tackles in the draft. And somebody wants to come up and get him that need tackle, need O-line help, which I think there's a lot of NFL teams, probably hell, if the Bengals even like the best PB and they were drafting lower and maybe their defense was a little bit better, they probably would still draft an offensive lineman.
That's something they're going to have to address here, at least by next year, because Orlando Brown his contract's coming up. I think he's got 2 more years left. And everybody can see he's not as good as he was.
Man, I know Myles Garrett's fast. and gets off the ball quick, but he looked really slow against Cleveland, like getting
Yeah,
in the sets.
unfortunately.
Yeah. And he was like trying to cheat. He's like changed his stance and stuff. So that's like a pretty clear, like he knows that he has to be, and every player got to make adjustments at some point, right?
Yeah.
Like you just got
And
to.
I think we're not drafted. I don't see us drafting an offensive lineman. I mean, unless one just happens to fall to 10 and they can't pass him up, which I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening, to be honest.
No, I don't think that. I think I feel like there was an article flying around somewhere at one point. I don't know. There's so much stuff on the internet where they're talking about beefing up the D line still, and that's still a priority for them. So I know
it should be. I mean, because it's not good enough. I mean, one thing I will say, and I said this at the beginning of the year, I thought we were okay at corner, but I was thinking Cam Taylor-Britt was going to bounce back, and I was wrong. I didn't know DJ Turner was going to be DJ Turner, but with DJ Turner and Dax Hill, we got our 1 and 2 cornerbacks right there. I do think we need to try to go get another one, a slot, because Fig, I like Fig, but he didn't take the jump that I thought he would take this year, you know?
Yeah.
That's another one that they could address in free agency or the draft.
And I like Jalen Davis a lot, but it's like one of those things where it's like his first like kind of like NFL teams are going to get tape on him now, stuff like that. Right, he's kind of smaller, and I still think there's a role in a way that we can use him, and he's highly respected within the Bengals locker room. But I do think like targeting, and I don't even mind double dipping. Like if you want to take Caleb Downs and in the second round you still want to take another safety, I'm cool with it. Go do it.
Yeah.
Like solve for that. Like, yeah, we need pass rush and stuff, but like, if you can just like, because you're gonna have some kind of weakness on your team going into the 20.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, that's how many times we said this. We don't need a top 10 defense. If we get a top 20 defense, we'll be fine. That's all. We just need. We do need stars. We need talent. I've said this a million times. They need talent on that side of the ball. They don't have enough talent. So if that's why I keep going back to just draft the best player available. If Caleb Downs is the best player available on your board, draft him. Even if Peter Woods is sitting there, that guy is going to make the biggest impact on your team, which I think he might. Draft him. So that's where, and I'm going to go to Roger's question here. He says, hate to be a Debbie Downer, but do we actually think we would draft good? I don't. Put it this way, they have to. They don't have a choice. That's kind of where I'm at with this whole thing. They don't have a choice to take a guy with a high ceiling, in my opinion. Because they don't have a choice to not go into free agency, because this fan base is going to lose their ever freaking loving mind if they don't do this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, I don't think they got to take the guy who gives them the best chance to make an impact. I think they've put themselves, because they screwed up last year by not getting that first round impact. I mean, and you can say what you want about the draft. The guys they played okay. I mean, we'll see. It's all, to me, you always see how the second year and third year goes to really, get on a draft. But I mean, they hit on why can't they have our offensive guard's name?
It's Fairchild.
Yeah, fair. They hit on him, and the linebackers are okay. They're not great. They're okay. That's what I want to add to it. And you hope they take another jump next year. Shamar Stewart, I'm not out on him. I do think he can be an impact player for us. He was hurt. His agent screwed him with this whole stupid contract thing. So we'll see. I mean, that's where I'm like, they don't have a choice, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like you can get productive players. Like there's a lot of development. Like if you go through the first round this year and go back through the picks, like a lot of those players like probably didn't, deliver at a super high level. But you still got to, like, if you're drafting top 10, that guy has to be plug and play.
Yes,
and that's where, like, Downs is probably the most plug and play player. But then also your second round pick, because we are drafting so high. And I know I'm kind of like first round grades, whatever, but like you're still drafting a high caliber player in the second round. That's where it's like this year, our second round pick needs to contribute too,
Yes. So. I've said that before. I said it with a couple guys there. I said, is it too much to ask that our first or second round picks are contributing players, impact players?
Yeah.
I mean, and one thing I will say this too is with Bengals draft higher, they do better in their picks. I mean, they do.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, say what you want, whatever, but they have. Now it's not a top 5 pick; it's a top 10 pick. So
Well, the irony of this whole thing. It's like Miles Murphy's starting to come on, and Mim's been a stud. So there's like back-to-back drafts that we actually hit on our first round picks that were like later picks.
yeah,
But
I mean, Mims look great. Mims
yeah,
look really good.
he's been a stud since he's got here. Like for the
Yeah,
most part.
and he was healthy pretty much all year too. I mean, I know he had a couple games where I think he missed a game. I think he left for a couple plays and came back. I don't remember him missing a game this year, but I know he's looked really good. I mean, honestly, that's why to me Dalton Reiser, you got to sign him because Mims played better when Dalton Reiser was next to him.
Yeah,
And Ted Karras played better. I mean,
yeah.
the offensive line, and just keep the continuity. I think you found something there with the offensive line. Like I said, I do think eventually we're going to have to replace Orlando Brown, but I don't see that. I just don't see it happening this year. I don't see how they can with all the other stuff they got to fix on defense. We're just got to live with Orlando Brown, I think, unfortunately.
You know what sucks this year too, Jeff, is our offensive line. I think Fairchild missed 2 games, but they were pretty injury free.
Yeah, they were.
Lucas Patrick started at right guard, but for the most part, those 5 played together like a majority of the season, which is unbelievable health.
Yeah, and one thing I will say about the offensive line, I do want them to get a better swing tackle. I do think we need Cody Ford maybe try a tight end. I mean, I was okay with Cody Ford as swing tackle going into this season because I thought he did really well in 2024. 2025, he was all right. I mean, I would like to get a better improvement on swing tackle. And Ted Karras already re-signed. They signed him.
Or I want Duke Tobin to be like a trust fund kid that has the Hollywood mansion for the weekend when it comes to free agency. Sign all the guys we talk about, and then go get Tyler Linderbaum too.
Oh, dude,
center.
Man, I get Tyler Linderbaum, and I wanted him. That was one of my draft crushes. I wanted him so bad.
Dude, he raises the ceiling of your offensive line so much because he can pull. He just mugs people when he's pulling, in the Ravens run game. So it's like, dude, I don't know. I don't know what the Ravens are gonna do. Again, they're going to have to negotiate probably some type of renegotiation with Lamar with his cap kind of stuff. And I don't know what the center market's going to be for Tyler. But I'm not opposed to going after him too. Take him from the Ravens. Hell yeah.
I'd love to take anything from the Ravens.
Yeah.
Were you surprised that Harbaugh got fired?
Dude, yes and no. Did you see the graph where it was far right missed field goal? That's
Tomlin gets fired,
or
he makes it. Harbaugh gets fired. Yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, which I still if Tomlin goes out there and loses in the first round, which I think he's going to, I think they might be done. I still think that's a play.
Yeah, it's tough with Tomlin because it's almost like you're almost as a coach, when you have a franchise quarterback, you better make sure you win the Super Bowl, because where Tomlin has to fall back on is they just haven't had a quarterback for a long time in Pittsburgh. And yes, he's the coach. He has a say in that, but it's also one of those things where it's well, I can't the ceiling of my team is so much lower because I don't have the quarterback now. Aaron, the second half against the Ravens, he looked like kind of vintage Aaron. He was throwing dots all over the field, I mean, I think they should. I mean, the Texans are going to Pittsburgh on Monday night. I do think there's a good chance they win that game. So I think if he gets the playoff win, then he definitely secures himself for a while again. But
now, I'm curious about this. Jeremy Nolan, I have not heard of this. Is there any truth that a Saudi billionaire wants to buy the Bengals?
Dude, they want to buy everything, bro.
I have not heard that, but I'd take it.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't know. You hear anything about that, Dustin?
No, I mean the Saudis are trying to get involved in all sports, though, so they're probably not the only team.
They got all that oil money, baby.
they gotta wash it somehow.
Exactly. Okay, for the $2 super chat, do we resign Miles Murphy now before he steps up in 2026? They got his 5th-year option. So is next year the last year of his?
Yeah, him and Hill are So this was his. Was this his 4th year? 1, 2. No, this was his third year.
His third year. He's got
We
2
have the
awards.
ability to exercise his option. We probably got to decide on that soon. So
Yeah.
technically, if we do, I would probably hold off on Murphy right now
I
because
pick the option up is what I would do.
I pick the option up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I picked the option up, and then because he's got to do it for back-to-back years for me.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. He's one that I just pick his option up. DJ Turner, I extend him. I think this
Turner's coming up on his.
Yeah, this next year's his last year. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
you can
saying.
start negotiating.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the good thing about obviously like why you want to kind of get players in the first round because you almost have that like now you got to pay him a lot with the option, but you have that blanket, that pillow
Right.
to kind of lay your head on because you're like, okay, like, and I think Murphy's the perfect example of how that 5th-year option kind of like is awesome because it's like,
Right.
yeah, I need to see a full season from you.
Yeah, we need back to back season. And that's one thing I will say this. Like Al Golden did accomplish what they hired him to do. They hired him to develop these young guys. I mean, he did do that. I mean, and this is where I said at the beginning of the year, I said they're putting all their eggs in the Al Golden basket. That's a lot to ask, and it's going to take a while to. If he does develop them, it ain't going to be instantaneous. This is why they messed up and should have signed some veterans. So they did find out. He did do what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to find out, make this defense better and find out about these young guys. He did, and that's the one thing I will say that I am more comfortable with this defense this year than I was last year. Because last year I had no idea. I had no idea. Josie Osai couldn't stay healthy, and he wasn't very productive when he was. This year, still had a hard time staying healthy, but he was productive. Miles Burke, we had no clue. DJ Turner, we had no clue. Jordan Battle, we thought we had something. I know he's still kind of up and down, but we know what he is. Those are things we found out. We know these guys are people we can build upon. They're not. We didn't know last year, so that's where I feel a little bit better about the defense than I did last year.
You almost like get like a feeling. It's like it almost felt like okay. They're almost like was okay with like a rebuilding year, on defense.
That's what it was. That's why they threw the linebackers out there. I mean,
and it's almost like I think they thought, and you can actually say they were somewhat close. I mean, we ended up like our record 6 and whatever, but like, what was Burrow end up like 5-3 as a starter this year?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this whole thing goes back to he doesn't throw 3 plays. You don't throw 2 interceptions in the Buffalo game, and you stop a 3rd and 15. Our season is totally different, but they didn't, and that's where I had a question for you, Dustin. I was talking to my brother-in-law about this and my son, and I go back and they say I'm the eternal optimist when it comes to Bengals, which I am. But I talk about all these games that we should have won. The one that pisses me off the most is the Bears game because we recovered an onside kick, got the lead, and all we had to do was make one damn stop, and we couldn't do it. It's been like that for a lot of these games. And to me, and they're like, well, you look at it like, we're so close. I'm like, well, we are, but it also pisses me off because they didn't fix it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, we're that. I mean, to me, we're that close, and that's where I'm like, just go get the guys. Find a guy who can cover a tight end. Get some more pressure. I mean, these are things you can do. They just haven't done it, and it pisses me off. So I'm like, I don't see it as. I don't think I'm going. Yeah, we're so close. I'm more of, damn it, we're so close. Would you just freaking fix this already? It's kind of how I feel that that's how I feel. I don't know if it comes across that way or not.
Well, I think it's and I think it's because it's fair. Like if you look at like actually the last 2 years, because remember like the Chargers game, we came out of the bye and like the defense was trash in the first half.
Yeah, then we stopped somebody, then we came back, and that was
and then the second half
2 years.
Yeah, the second half, our defense actually got some stops.
Yeah.
Our offense was actually put in positions to take it. And actually the Baltimore game at home too.
Yep.
Where
we didn't score. We didn't
score or Burrow throws a pick. And that kind of like has happened. So I think next year, what I want to see from this coaching staff is more consistency. Like we got to have more consistency because even as good as our offense is, there are these like laws that we have sometimes throughout the season where the offense is like, where is it? And like, you're not going to play good every week. That's
why you need a defense. So when your offense isn't doing good, your defense can pick you up.
Yeah.
And when your defense isn't playing good, your offense can pick you up. We don't have that. Like if our offense doesn't consistently score 35 to 40 points a game, we're going to lose. I mean, I think I need to look this up. The last 2 years, how many times the Bengals have scored 30 points or over 30 points and lost?
It's like an NFL record.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, so yes, and that's where I go to as far as the offense. I'm kind of an AC's want to kind of talk me into this. Getting a slot receiver would be nice to get back here too, just so Joe has that blanket that all right. If I gotta get a third down, I could throw it, slot right over the middle to we don't have Tyler Boyd, but Tyler Boyd was so good at that. That's would be nice to get back to that. And Mike Gesicki's good at it. There's no shade on him, but he's a tight end, but he's more wide receiver, but he's really a tight end. He's not. We need a slot actual receiver, and I think moving Jamar around and everything is great too. But getting that one more guy to be able to convert those gotta have third downs would be great.
Yeah, and it'd be nice for Joe to like push a couple easy buttons so that he's not like processing everything all the time. Yes. Like just a little screen pass to a little like juke guy that can just like. I mean, look at what Gainwell has done for the Steelers and their offense. Right. Their offense is not explosive at all, but he has made a huge difference. Let's find a guy like that can like take these. And Chase Brown is definitely explosive.
Yes, I was just about to go there. Chase Brown, I can't wait to see his fourth year in the NFL next year. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fourth. Because I think he's the closest thing we've had to James Brooks since James Brooks. Yeah. I mean, his size, his speed, the way he makes guys move. I mean, he can pass block. I mean, so that he can do everything. I mean, and our run game got more consistent as the season went along. It would be nice if it's consistent at the beginning of the year, because that would also help too. We could have a consistent running attack throughout the whole year.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another decision we're going to have to make is like, what are you comfortable paying a running back in a couple of years too?
Right.
But these are good problems. That means like you have draft picks that you are hitting on and you need to make decisions on as part of the NFL, So
is Kyle Pitts a free agent? He said if we're talking about the Bengals going if we're talking about the Bengals going all in a free agency, then why we're not talking about Kyle Pitts. Is Kyle Pitts a free agent? Because he was in the same draft as Chase.
Yeah, I think he is.
Really?
He is, yeah.
Are they not picking up his fifth year?
I don't think they did. I didn't consider that yet. Yeah, he's becoming an unrestricted free agent.
Then yeah. I would definitely go get Kyle Pitts for sure. I didn't realize he was a free agent. I haven't looked up the free agent tight ends, but yeah. And Strange wants to update on Eric All. The only update I got on Eric All, he was at Bengals now. I don't remember when this year. And he said by the end of the season, he should be full go, ready to participate in practice, offseason, OTAs, all that stuff. So he should be ready to go once OTAs, everything starts. And that's another thing is we get him back. He getting him back is going to be a huge thing too, because he is your tight end one. He can do everything. As long as he stays healthy, he can do everything.
Well, I think we should bring back Pirine too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Pirine had a really good year this year.
Yeah. He looked quick.
He did.
For a guy that's been around for a while, I was like, damn.
Well, and the thing is, bring it back just for some reason, if he does lose a step, you got Taj Brooks. I still like Taj Brooks. I know he didn't get a whole lot of playing time this year, but I do like him too.
Yeah, he's around. We'll see, with him. But like, I did like how the Bengals tinker around with that, split back look or two backs at the same time. So
yes, that was interesting. I was surprised they did that because I know, crap, I can't remember his name. He comments on my show. Once he comments on my show, he blows it up. But he kept saying two back all the time. I said the Bengals don't do that, but they did start doing that this year. And that was interesting. That was kind of a creative thing there that the offense did.
Well, it's funny if you like Rams were the kind of the first one that really pushed forward with 11 personnel, and they don't even run it that much anymore. So It's like it's one of those things where it's like, man, we have T and Chase on the outside. I'm fine with like kind of getting into these heavier sets and presenting mismatches on the defense, and then at that point, like you can protect Burrow a little bit better, So we'll see. I'm pretty excited about some of the stuff they put on tape this year towards the end of the year with the diversity in the offense. Hopefully Eric All can get back to where he was. I don't know. That's tough because he's went through a lot of injuries. We'll see what he looks like in training camp, but there's definitely possibilities. The the more versatility and the more ability to like use tight ends in your offense
Oh,
just like make a huge difference.
and I'm so happy finally people stop saying Burrow doesn't like tight ends. Like Burrow does like if you're open, Burrow will throw you the freaking ball. Like I got so tired of people saying he doesn't use tight ends. Like yes, he does.
Yeah.
Stranger says do not bring Fant back. 6 fumbles. Yeah,
Oh God.
And then the thing is, he only fumbled, I think, twice in his whole career, and he fumbled a ton this year.
Dude,
So,
when he caught that pass, I was with my nephew. I was like, he's gonna fumble this. Watch. And he it's just the way he was running back into back into
right.
the. I was like, he's gonna fumble what he did. Yeah, he just I don't know, like good swing, I guess, but it just didn't work out with him.
No, it didn't work out. I'm glad. I'm like Paul here says, I'm glad they re-signed Tinsley. Yes, Tinsley's back, so that'd be good. Chop is not an All fan. He said all is made of glass. He has a horrible injury in history in college, and he couldn't play half a season for us. I would not count on him, even though I love him. Well, I'll put it this way: I'm with you, Chop. But I would with you on getting Kyle Pitts. I did not know Kyle Pitts was a free agent, and I am shocked because I think you get Kyle Pitts in this offense because he's still good. He never had a quarterback in Atlanta. He never did. If you get him in this offense, you get him, Eric All, and Mike G. Woo-hoo. That tight end room set right there, dude. I would do that. I would take that in a heartbeat because Kyle Pitts would be your number one tight end.
This was by far his most productive season. He had 88 catches, close to 1,000. He doubled his catches from like the previous years because he was around 47, 50. So I mean, that's a good trend for sure. It
might cost us a pretty penny to get him though because of that.
He's gonna have like a weird market because I don't know. I just feel like we'll see. I mean, he was a high, obviously, like Pitts, Chase.
Dude, I was always Chase. So, like people are like,
Chase too.
Yeah, what about Kyle Pitts? You gotta get that tight. I'm like, Jamar Chase is a freaking badass. Like, no, it's Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase is
like I still remember having the argument with people on here about getting drafting Chase Young instead of Joe Burrow. Like, what are you nuts? And people were like, well, defense wins championships. Like, quarterbacks win championships. Quarterbacks win championships. Yes, even quarterbacks win championships.
Yeah, people get these ideas in their head when it comes to the draft, and it's just it all comes back like the more impactful players you can put on your team, the better they're going to make people around them. So it's like get more of those guys. Get more guys that can come in and play. Like, yeah, you're always going to have development guys. Fine, that's cool. But the more that you in your higher round picks that you can get guys that can contribute. Now, do they got to be all world? No. But they got to come in and take snaps. They got to play solid. They can't be liabilities, and they got to make some kind of impact. And I think like Caleb Downs, I watched him since high school. Like
I like him. I would have such a hard time not drafting him. But then I thought Peter Woods is 3-tech. I'm like, we need one of those.
I know. It's tough. It's like we always fall like we're picking where it's like all the players that we like may be available too.
Like, I know. Well, it's like Walter Nolan last year. He was right there, and freaking Arizona took him right for us. Cincy kid here says he can see Pitts going to Kansas City. Yes and no. My only caveat to that is when is Patrick Mahomes coming back? And he's going to come back all year. Which, yeah, I mean, he could with that offense. I could see that. Like he could replace Travis Kelce. So yeah,
that's where it's like I know that Dale is like, oh, I think Kansas City Chiefs will take Caleb Downs. I'm like, I don't know, man. I think like they have kind of like been trying to get stuff around Mahomes for the last couple of years, and like Xavier Worthy,
they don't have anybody.
Like, yeah, and it's like that's where I feel like they're going to go after somebody.
Well, Cap was on here a couple weeks ago talking about how Kansas City has this great offense. I'm like, who? I'm like, can't see. I'm like, I couldn't figure out what he was talking about.
No,
Kansas City, they don't have anybody to throw the ball to. They really haven't. I mean,
dude, they haven't had a really that great of an off. They had a good playoff offense. Like Mahomes would step up in the playoffs. It's like, but their offense was like dog shit for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
During the regular season, they were actually really like not fun to watch. Like back in the day, I didn't like the Chiefs, but like when they had Tyreek Hill, they were throwing bombs all over the place. Like they were like,
I mean,
but
the wide receiver for Ohio State just declared
Tate.
Yeah, they could. I can see him going to Kansas City if he's there. I think they got to draft offense. I know Field Yates and not Field Yates. Yeah, I think it's Field Yates on ESPN had Baines going to Kansas City, but as we're sitting here talking about it, I've never really actually thought about it until now. But yeah, I think Kansas City might actually go offense
I do too.
rather than defense because they haven't had a pick this high in forever. So I mean, this is a chance to actually add a weapon to Patrick Mahomes.
And their defense finished still like 11th this year. Like it's still a really like you know they're not as dominant as they were, and they probably need more pass rush too. But like I think they're hurting more on the offensive side of things. So you know,
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. Chiefs need a run game. They've been bad ever since that went downhill. Yeah,
now
and their O line is terrible.
yeah, ice for the press conference on Friday. You know, I know we're getting towards the end here, but like,
Yeah.
is I'm like really specific on what the questions want to be because I feel like and you know, I love bigger picture stuff. I love all that, but like I feel like for a press conference like this, I want to know like specific agenda items, like why didn't you address the safety position? Like I want to know.
That
like,
might be my first question.
Yeah.
What you got Stone to take less money, and you didn't add anybody to the worst part of your team last year. Like
Yeah.
this year. Yes, I would love to know that. And question, did working on two contracts at the same time with one agent, did that prevent you from going out and signing anybody else in free agency? My first question would be, what the hell happened to free agency last year? Why'd you only sign two guys? Like when you knew you needed more? Like why?
Yeah. And then it's just like I don't even know. Like, yeah, that could be an excuse, but like they still went and got Fan, and you know, Fan. Like we were excited for it. It didn't work out, but they also got Dalton later. You know, it's kind of like, well, it's like in the meat and potatoes of like the free agency.
The first couple days, I get an impact player or two.
Yeah,
I mean, you remember when they signed Ted Karras and
Kappa?
That was the first day.
Yep.
They were like the first or second team to announce it. So I mean, again, I go back to I've seen them do it. It's just it seems like to me, like last year, their plan was they wanted to find out what they had on defense.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what like. We got these first, second round picks. We don't know crap about them.
Yep.
And that's where I think that's what they wanted to do, which they did. But you still should have added some veterans to that room. And the safety room, why you didn't sign anybody or draft anybody? Because there were safeties there. Hell, Xavier Watts, and that who it is from Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Well, he was sitting there, passed him up 3 times. Why didn't we draft him?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, that was a head scratcher for sure.
Yeah.
That was like, you know, it was almost like he kept. Someone's like, "Oh, he's falling. What's the NFL thinking?" But it's like, dude, like you could have
take him.
Yeah, you could have had him, and then like I don't know, okay, you reached on Knight, but you still could get Xavier and save it. You know,
right?
So, man,
I went and redrafted that draft in my mind. I don't know how many different times. It just pisses me off every time. Like, you could have got Malachi Starks in the first round, or I mean, I would probably had Watts now, honestly, other than Stark. But still, I mean, there's guys that could have got.
Duke should really treat this as an opportunity to, like, you know, you're not going to make fans, but it's like, dude, go up there and say, like, hey, we fucked up. Like,
right.
We messed up. Like, it's okay. Like,
it's okay. We know you did.
Yeah, we know you did. But it's just like that admitting an ownership over like things that you did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We can deal with that. We can and then let us know what your plan is moving forward.
Fix it.
Now,
right.
I don't want you, like, you know, obviously, like, they're not going to give away the details because you don't want to tip your hat to, like, all the other teams. But, like, what's your plan moving forward? And what's your plan moving forward into the future? Like, how we're going to solve for this now because we do have, like, these big contracts rolling in and stuff. So, like, let us know. Give us a little peek. And I think that could make a huge difference. So, treat this press conference as an opportunity to, like, sell to your fans what the Bengals are doing moving forward and actually admitting to things that you have done wrong, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I have a question for you, because normally we don't hear from Duke until the combine. And this is, and I know they're doing this because the beat writers everybody requested it, but they've requested them before,
Yeah.
and they've turned them down.
Yeah.
Is this and I can't remember who said that. I'm not going to take credit for this. Someone up on one of the Bengals beat podcast said this. Is this a moment for the Bengals saying, Duke, you're on the hot seat. You effed up. We're going to make you go out there and talk to them and tell them what's going on earlier than you ever had to before. Because I don't remember them doing a season-ending press conference. I know it's a week later, but they're doing it. We've all wanted one. You know, we hear from Zach all the time, but we never hear from Mike Brown. We never hear from Katie. We never hear from Duke. Now we are. It's just kind of curious what made them decide to do this and why they I'm glad they're doing it, but why are they making Duke do this? Is this putting him on the hot seat? Like, look, you got to get this fixed.
That's a great question. And I definitely think there is a sense of like, hey, guys, here's like this because what was it before? It was always like when an owner or whatever in any sport, maybe even college, they give you like a vote of confidence. That means like you're probably going to get fired. You know
right,
what I mean?
Right.
This now Bengals do things slow. Maybe this is like your like vote of confidence. You have a year to prove yourself. If this doesn't go right, like we got to make changes. So yeah, I do think there's a little bit of that.
There's something there because they don't do these press conferences. They don't.
Yeah. And hey, man, you know what? Like the Bengals, like you heard the voices, like we want transparency. Like that's you know, maybe they heard that. Maybe that's
maybe
you can, you know, tip the cap a little bit to them.
I hope that's what it is. We'll find out Friday.
Yeah.
Stranger here says Duke won't be asked hard questions because beat writers don't want to lose their access. I don't think that's it. These beat writers are chomping at the bit to find some questions because they've asked over and over and over and over. They've asked from the ones I've talked to they've asked multiple times this season when it started going south to talk to Duke. So they've been asking. They have questions that they want to ask.
I will say I've been somewhat impressed towards the end of this year that they have turned the heat up a little bit more on asking like these like front office, like asking Burrow the questions that they've asked him. I know like
that might be good too because they're asking Burrow and Burrow's answering how he's answering, and they're like, and Burrow's the last 2 years to maybe they're like, oh shit, we might have to get out, you know, get one of us out there to talk about this.
Yeah, I know, because they're asking like almost like, oh, Burrow the GM. No.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that could have something to do with it too. They see that Burrow's being put in these positions with some of these questions. So again, hats off to the beat reporters for asking those questions to Burrow, because then you maybe have forced the hand of the Bengals to stick Duke out there on Friday. I hate that it's on Friday because it kind of gets lost in the weekend news dump. They're pretty strategic with that.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, but Bengals fans will pay attention to it and we'll remember it.
Yeah,
and Stranger, I don't think just to finish up on your question, I don't think the Bengals can take away access from a beat writer because he asks hard questions. I don't think the NFL will let them do that. So unless it's racist or something like that, they can't take their access away. I think it's an NFL rule or something like that.
Yeah. It's just, I think it's like, it's kind of one of those things where you got to build relationships with these coaches for the entire year. So maybe like early in the season, the questions are a little more softball. And then as the season gets going, you start seeing results. I get that. Like sometimes it does feel like in some markets where the like New York beat writers are a lot more tough than Cincinnati.
Right.
You know,
well, and the thing is, Duke, I felt Duke was honestly kind of honest last year at the combine. That's the other question I would like to ask him. Like, okay, you said you weren't going to pay for the same team you did last year. What happened? You know, because you paid for a worse team. You're 6-10. You know, so like what? Like that's where I'm like, where something happened because I think Duke had a plan, or they had a plan, thought things were going to go differently, and it didn't. Just something happened last offseason that
it makes sense.
Yeah, because they don't make statements like that.
Yeah.
You know, and he did. So I'm like, oh, all right, cool. So what are we going to do? To me, I'm like, oh, free agency. We're going to sign some more guys, and nope.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know. It came like he came out with all this bravado, and then it just
right. Like, oh, don't guys, we got this. I'll show you. Just wait and see what happens, and then
yeah, Bigger negotiations is kind of like maybe they thought they were closer to the finish line, and he misspoke too. It's like, oh yeah, we got like, and then there was some detail of the contract that made it like push out for like 4 weeks. I don't know.
I don't know. It was an interesting statement to put out there, and yeah, I will be watching Friday for sure to find out what Duke has to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not going to answer all of our questions, but if he answers some of them, that'll make me happy. I just don't dodge everything, which I don't think he will. To me, I think Duke answers them the best way he can, because they can't answer everything. They're not going to sit there. No NFL team is going to sit there and go, "Hey, this is our playbook. Here you go. This is what we're going to do. We'll just hand it to you." That's not going to happen. But I do think Duke tries to answer as honestly as he can.
Yeah,
I do think that. We'll see what happens though.
You just hope that the team itself, like, because I did, sometimes I'll listen to some of the Buckeyes podcast down in like Columbus too, and they had Ben Baby on, and he was talking about like, I don't know if like the team knows what's going on. It's just like I don't want to hear that either. You know what I mean? It's everybody's opinion.
I love Ben. Ben's very negative though.
Yeah, totally. I get it, but it's like having like I want to walk away from this like finding
a good feeling.
A good feeling.
Yes.
Oh, okay. We have a plan.
Yes.
Like we understand what we've done is not acceptable, and then we also got to see it. Like I don't know, man. We're asking for more scouts. That's probably not going to happen. The restructuring of the front office is probably like not going to happen. So it's like, tell us like how you're going to overcome these things.
How are you going to fix your screw ups over the last couple of years? That's what I want to know. You're not going to add scouts. You're not going to add a GM. You're not going to restructure anything. What are you going to do differently that you've done the last couple of years? Because what you've done the last couple of years hasn't worked. What you did in 21 and 22 worked. Go back to that.
Yeah, and I hope a question's asked about the early, like getting on the contracts early. Like, why has that been a problem? I hope that's another question that gets
sign Dalton Reisner now.
Yeah.
Don't let him hit free agent. He wants to be here. Give him it's not going to take much. Give him a little bump. He deserves a little bump in his raise. Give him a bump. Sign him and let's go.
Yeah, he wants to be here. Like you got a guy that's culturally seems like awesome. Mims loves him. Like, do not let that guy don't let that nameplate on that locker change.
He's talking to beat writers begging for the Bengals to call him to sign him. I mean, you can't make it much easier. Like, Mike Brown or Katie, come down to the locker room. Here's the contract. All right, cool, we're signed. It can't make it much easier than that.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, I'm going to end this on that one there. Dustin, I appreciate you. Come on, go ahead and plug some stuff about Bengals and Brews before I let you go, brother.
Yeah, Bengals and Brews. Shout out to Chop. He won our NFL pick'em. I don't know if he's still in here or not.
Did he? All right, Chop.
Chop was victorious. Actually, it came down to the final game of the season, the Steelers and the Ravens. So, he won on that.
Who did he beat you out?
Yeah, dude. I was like, the thing is, I like to pick upsets too much, and I was probably doing that a little bit too much, but nonetheless, so, we're going to go back down to one show a week until like free agency starts to warm up a little bit. So you can find us Fridays at 3:30 Eastern time, Bagels and Brews. We're probably going to do another mock draft on Friday. It's draft stuff with Dale. Like we're all over it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We'll have some pop-up podcasts like once free agency starts and that sort of thing, and as news comes along. So excited to see everybody in there too.
How long of a break is Greg taking? Has he told you guys, or he's just taking a break?
Just a little break. I think he'll be back probably around free agency time. So recharge his batteries. Yeah,
There you go. We all need that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, Stranger says Dale got cocky because he had the lead early.
He did. He was flaunting his stuff. You know what I mean? Like. Yeah,
Chop said he's either the smartest guy alive or the luckiest guy alive. So
I tell you, Chop is